me know when you guys were able to see.
Yes, they were able to see.
That's great. Um, so in yesterday's class, we discussed something about the page directive and then include directive. Taglib is the one which is remaining. We'll discuss about it later because it's not correct time to discuss about it. We'll require a little bit more knowledge on JSPs. Okay. Now coming to the next concept here. So how the data, server remembers or how the conversation happens between the client and the browser. Okay. Now let us first see HTTP protocol. Okay. HTTP protocol is a stateful protocol or stateless protocol, if you have any idea.
Stateless.
Yes, stateless protocol means it never remembers the data or it never stores the data into its request part. Okay, until that request is getting completed. In that particular instance only, it is going to remember. For the second request, it will forget about the first request. It is going to just remember only the second request, like that. So that is the reason we can say it as a stateless protocol. So what happens if we make this protocol as a stateful protocol? Hmm? The data will be like, first request, second request, third request, like every request objects will be get stored in the protocol, and like this, it becomes very heavy. So if it becomes very heavy, then it is going to take a lot of network time to for the data transfer between the client and the browser and the server. Okay, so that is the reason they didn't make this HTTP protocol as an stateful protocol. So they made as a stateless protocol. So just it is going to remember that particular instant. Whatever the request that you are sending, it's going to remember that particular request object only. Okay, once that request object is completed, well, if you try to go for a second request, second page, then second request will go. That time you will forget about the first request. It will be like that. Okay, so in order to, ours is not a case. Consider as an example, we're having one application like, user is trying to register himself. Okay, nowadays we never give all the fields in a same page. First we'll give some fields in first page, and after that we'll try to ask him to click on next. Once he moves to the next page, again we will provide some more fields so that user feels happy, like, he never feels burden. Otherwise, if you provide all the fields in the same page, what happens for registering? Oh my god, I need to fill this much amount of the fields. Let it forget about this here, like that users may think. So in order to attract them, they implemented some other way, like, first page they're going to provide some fields. Okay, first name, last name, like that. In the second name, they are going to, in the second field, they're going to ask, like, provide your username, password, email. Like third field, they're going to ask the phone numbers and address, like that. This is the way they are going to make. Okay, in the same way here also we are trying to make different pages at here while registering. At the same time, we are trying to carry forward the data. Okay, we're trying to carry forward the data. As because HTTP protocol is stateless protocol, we need to carry forward the data from first to second, second to third, like that. And finally, we're going to store the data into a database. Okay. Um, to do this operation, like, there were like different kinds of techniques they follow in real time. Okay. So what are the techniques in real time they will follow? So still my voice is breaking. Clear.
Now it is clear.
Yeah, great. Okay. So the techniques are, first one is the hidden fields. Second one by using cookies. Okay. Third one, session manage using cookies. Fourth one, session manage using URL. This is called URL. Fourth one is called URL rewriting technique. So we'll see in the final one. So there were like some different techniques where we can able to carry forward our data from the browser to the server. Okay, or otherwise whether we can able to store in some For example, in the hidden fields, we can carry forward the data from browser to the server, server to the browser, like that. In second case, we're going to store that data in our browser, and finally when you're final submit, at the time of final submit, we're going to pass our data. Okay. And third case, we're going to use the session. By using session, we're able to store our data. And final one, fourth one, is we're going to use the URL rewrite technique. By using session means it is going to rewrite the our fields in the URL itself. Okay. Let us see the first one, hidden fields. So what is this hidden fields, how it works? So I'm going to the servlet project. Here in this case, I'm going to deal with only the JSPs. So let me try to write down. I'm going to take some pages like register of one page, register two page, like that, and finally store page. Okay. So let me try to create some three JSP files here. First one is register, and second one is register one JSP, and final one is store.jsp. Okay. So in the register page, let me try to provide some data like I'll just use this. Okay. So first I'll ask him to enter the password, and then I'll take it as like this, so that consider this as a register field. Once he clicks on submit, it has to go to register one.jsp. Okay. Here in the register one.jsp, I need to take the first name, last name, and then email ID. Okay, when I click on the submit, it has to go to the store.jsp. Okay, so we'll see it later. First, so we are trying to enter the username and password. I need to carry forward this one. So for that, what I'm trying to do, so I'm using scriptlet here, username. Okay, request dot get parameter of what is the name of the first field. Name is username. So in this field, try to put the username. Oops. And I'm trying to store this password also by using the request.get parameter. I can able to get. Okay, and then after these I'm trying to prepare some other fields also. So type is hidden, and I'm using the expression tag JSP expression to print the value from the scriptlet. Sorry, this should be a value, right? Just give me a minute. And then next field, name is password, and value. Here also I'm using the JSP expression to print the password value which I brought at here scriptlet. Now let us see. Yep, these are done. We'll go to the final page. We'll do one thing. Let me use the scriptlet and take these two and string first name, last name, and then email. So these are the values. Okay, to print these values in UI, I'm going to use the JSP expression tag here. Okay, so the values are username, password, first name, last name, and then email. Here write some logic to store our data in DB. Okay, okay, now at least we are good at here. I think re-enter password is not required. register one, then store. Yeah, great. So now let me try to start the server, run as, run on server, finish. So I will use the browser instead of this Eclipse one. Register.jsp. So I have to start it from here. Okay. For example, I have given the username as Durga and password as some 123456. Okay. First name as BBB, and then XYZ at the rate of gmail.com. This is what I have given. Okay, let me check. The password is not printing. Okay, okay. Password is pass, not password. Now let me go back once again. Provide the details, submit. Now click on submit. So username Durga, password 123456, first name A, B, last name is B, and this is the Gmail. So this is the data where here I'm going to write some JDBC code to store the logic. So now let us see the program, how it works in real time. Okay, consider when the user clicks on the register or sign up, so this page will be get pop up. Okay, I mean this page will come into the picture. Okay, here first of all I have provided some details called username and password. Okay, I have provided some details called username and password, and then click on submit. Now what happens, it will go to the register1.jsp, right? That's what the action that we have written at here. Okay, so now let us go and see here. Up to here it is common, means you're trying to display the second registration page values. Okay, then what about these, why I'm writing as hidden parameters this? So before that, see here, I'm trying to use some scriptlet. Inside of it, I'm writing some piece of code to get the username and password. So remember one thing. Okay, just now we traveled from the register to register one. So when we reach this particular page, our request object is still available with the server. Okay, which request object? First page register object, request object. So this first page register.jsp request object is available with second page because we are hitting the second page at here, right? So now in the request, these values are present in the request object. Username and password values are been present. So in order to get all these values, we need to use request.get parameter. Okay, yeah. Remember one thing, whenever you're writing some HTML code, okay, you're writing some HTML code with the fields as like input fields. So in order to get these values, you need to use this name. Okay, you should use these names to get the values which we have entered at here. Okay, so that's the reason I'm using request.get parameter. Actually, to speak, I haven't even declared about the request object here. Then from where I'm getting this request object? Any idea?
From servlet.
Yes, from servlet only. Yeah, how? I mean, because See, generally, if we are trying to use any object, that should be first initialized, right? Then only we can able to use that particular object.
Yeah.
Here, the request object I haven't even initialized here, but then how it is coming?
Yeah, HTTP request.
Yes, that is HTTP request only, but how it is coming? For example, I can use REQ. Why I'm using request?
Subnet container.
Why I'm using request only instead of REQ?
Oh, because it's inbuilt like no implicit object.
Exactly, implicit object. We have 9 implicit objects available, right? Request, response, config, context, page context, out, exception. These implicit objects are initialized by the container and give it to you. I mean to any servlet. Okay. But you should be present inside a service method. Okay. Which block it is? Scriptlet block only, right? Scriptlet block means it should be get copied inside a service method only.
So, what about HTML? But we used HTML inside a JSP.
Where here in this page you're saying?
Yeah, we used HTML in JSP's page.
Yes, that's what the JSP advantage,
Those
right?
will be where it will be copied.
So that is the advantage of the JSP. We can embed any other technologies also. We can use the JavaScript, JSP, CSS, okay, and along with the Java and then JSP tags. We can embed all these things in single JSP file.
So,
Yeah, Vijay.
okay, it will be like out dot println, out dot write.
Okay, this
Inside
one,
will be out dot.
this one you're saying, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay. See, now tell me this is a normal template text now. It considered as like that. This
right,
is a one template text and this is one template text. It is considered as like that. Then what happens? Template text will be copied in a out dot or write method, right?
right method. Yeah.
So it is going to write all these. It considers all this as a template text and it will just copy in a out dot write method so that it will be get just reply back to the browser.
Okay. What is
Okay.
so when it comes to the previous page to the this page, like other JSP this JSP, so still it will have all the default values along in the request object.
Yes, see, just now we traveled from register to register one, right? I mean, whenever I click on submit button at here, I'm hitting this particular JSP, right? Register one. So this is considered my request data is present in this. Okay, this request object will be carried to here, register one. Okay, now with the register one,
Mhm.
my request object is having means old request object. Which one? This one. Clear. Let me
Okay, it is
try
passing
to.
the same. Many have a question like is
Yes.
it creating a new object of request or it's just a old instance?
It is creating a new request object every time, every hit,
Uh,
whatever you're doing, every hit of a URL, it is going to create a new request.
but here not URL, right? This is something like action.
One second, let me try to show you these. So if you see here, see when I click on the submit, so in my action for this first page, what I'm saying, when I click on submit, go and hit the register one JSP, right? Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, if you see the code at here, this is my registered JSP. When I click on submit button, my action says like, please go and hit the register one.jsp file. Okay. So
Yeah.
now what happens? The request, the HTTP request will go as like this. As we know, this request is different and this one is different. This is a object within our server converted as an object. But before that, when it is traveling in a network, it is kind of a HTTP protocol kind, means which is having the request body, blank line, headers, and then initial request line. All these kinds of fields being present here in this one. Okay, and then so as we are sending the data in a post, so the data will be get passed in a body. Okay, key and value pairs, nothing but username and what is the username value, this is password and value of the password. It will be transferred in this HTTP request to here up to where register1.jsp, it has to be get passed. Okay, so once it hit this server, I'm going to convert this as a request object, as because Java is a object technology, object kind of a technology. It deals with only objects, right? Not kind like this. So that's why the server is converting this as one object, request object, and that request object is given to a register1.jsp. Okay, now in this particular request, I'm having these values, nothing but in the request body, I'm having the username and password values are present in this request object. So just I want to get these values. I want to get these values at here in the server. So for that, what I need to do, I need to use the method called request dot get parameter of key. Key is nothing but name here, whatever the name you have given. Okay. If you provide the key there, we can able to get the values. Next, what I'm trying to do here, these are the ones which are related to the second registration page. Okay, these will get displayed. Then what about these two? Okay, see here, first of all, if you see, this is a kind of a text field, so that's the reason where we can able to see here, right? This is a kind of a text field, but here this is a kind of a password field. We should not see the password. That's the reason for the second field I kept the type as a password. Okay, and then if you come here, okay, these are normal text fields because first name, last name, those are like not that much secure. That's why I made it as a text field so that we can able to see, no issues at all. Then I have taken some other input fields called type hidden. Okay, called type hidden means it will be written back to the browser with these fields along with these two input fields also. Okay, I will show you. I will show you. Don't worry. Okay, I mean, and then name as username, password, and then value is nothing but I am using the expression tag to print the value at here in this field. Okay, so let us see how it is working. Now I have given something as like this Durga something password here, right? Now click on submit. What I will get? I'll get the second page. I can able to see these three fields. Then what about the remaining two? What about the remaining two fields, which are the hidden fields, where I'm not even able to see, right? But still these are exist. Right click, view page source. Now see here,
Mhm.
they were present, but they are present as a hidden so that we should not see in them. Okay, name is username and value is Durga, which we brought from the first one, and then this one name is password and value is 123456. See, so whenever the processing is done, this page will be written back to the browser. Okay, return back to the browser. Okay, this page will be written back to the browser. So while returning, what it will do, what it will do in the second page, these fields are to be seen. Okay, but these are like hidden parameters so that we should not even to be seen. Means see here, From here to here, how many fields are transferring? How many fields are transferring from here to here? First request. For
Two.
example, if we see the register, from register to register 1, how many fields are transferring? 2, right?
Two.
Yeah, 2. Right, username and then password. And then while I'm returning, how many fields are transferring back to the browser? How many?
Two.
Five.
Exactly, one,
Two.
two, three. While returning, I'm saying from register 1 to back to the browser. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 hidden fields. Total 5 fields are been transferring. Okay, here we can able to see here, but hidden fields are there, right? So that's the reason I shown you in view page source. So total 5 fields are been transferring, which like 3 fields are like we can able to see, and remaining 2 fields are like hidden fields. That's how I'm returning, right? And then now when I click on submit at here in register 1, okay, when I click on submitter in register 1, so what happens? It will go and hit the store.jsp file, right? It will go and hit the store.jsp file. So come back here. Now I'm in the store.jsp file. So now, okay, you're at here, right? Okay, when I given some first name, last name, and then email ID, after providing all these, when I click on submit, how many fields are been getting transferred? How many fields are
3.
Five.
getting transferred? Exactly. One second. Right. Total 5 fields are been getting transferred from register 1 to store.jsp. Okay. All these are type input type, and which is having the name and value. So that's the reason in the final JSP page, just I'm using request.get parameter to access the values. Understand?
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
have a
but
question.
I don't understand about the hidden. Why are we making them hidden?
Okay, we'll do one thing. Let me try to remove these two. Okay, from the register 1 page, I'm trying to remove. Now go back here and register.jsp file. I'm giving something called Durga as username and password as 123456. Click on submit. I'm getting the second page. Provide some first name and then last name and then Gmail ID. Click on submit. We'll go to the store.jsp. What happened to the first two fields?
Empty.
Not the beginner.
Why it is coming as an empty?
Because it is not able to find with that what I call name.
Why it is not able to figure out? Let us see. Let us see a little bit more understanding about this. So here, this is the page, right? So this is the register 1.jsp, right? When I click on the submit, why it is not making me to transfer? Let me see the view page source. I'm having the only 3 fields. So in the current request, it is going to send only these 3 fields.
Okay.
Okay. See. Okay. Now let us see. Now I'm here. I'm click on submit. When I click on submit, how many fields are being transferred from register to register 1?
Two fields.
Exactly. Right, 2 fields have been transferred from register 1, as because we had only the 2 fields. Now when I provide the data at here, okay, when I provide the data at here, now let me show you the source also. How many fields are there at here? There were no hidden fields. Okay, how many fields are there at here? Only 3. Okay, now when I click on submit, When I click on submit, how many fields have been transferred? Only 3. What about the first 2? It forgot.
We didn't see this.
No.
It forgot about the first request. See, consider when I'm sending as data as like this from register to register 1. Okay, consider this is the request 1. Okay, consider this is the request 1. So request 1 is transferred from browser to the server. Okay, when I'm hitting the second page, I mean register 1, there I can able to get the data of username and password. Okay, now when I enter the second page, okay, when I enter the second page and click on submit button, okay, request 2 will be transferred from the browser to the server. What about the request 1? Server forgot. This is called the stateless protocol. Okay, whenever data is transferred between the different pages 1 to 2, 2 to 3 like that. Okay, see, for it is a new request, right? This is called first request. This is one request. Okay, submit, it's okay, and this is another request. Okay, when you click on submit, it will forget about the first request. Server will forget about the first request, and it will just try to remember this particular current request. Current request is having how many fields? 3 fields. So that's the reason it is trying to print the only these 3 fields. What about the first request? When I transfer the data from the register to register 1, what about these 2 fields? Why my server is not remembering? So that's what it behavior it's saying. It HTTP protocol is saying like, come on, I am a stateless protocol. I don't want to remember anything. Okay, whatever the current request is there, I will remember that one. I don't want to remember the remaining data. Okay, so that is the reason whenever you're entering the first time, whenever you click on submit, in this particular request I will remember the data of the first request. Okay, and again when you enter this data, okay, and click on submit, okay, when you click on submit, this is the second request that you're sending from the browser to the server, right? So obviously protocol will forget about the first request. Confusion still?
No, I understand. It's the nature of the protocol.
Yes, see, every hit, whatever, whenever you're trying to submit, for every hit it will be a new request. Remember that every hit is a new request. Okay, so
Okay.
it is our duty, or it is our, like, we need to write some other piece of code to manage our data to be transferred between the pages or within the server. So one technique is you need to transfer the data from the browser to server, server to browser, browser to server, like that. This is called the hidden fields technique. Okay,
Uh-huh.
some other techniques are there, cookies or sessions are there. Okay, depends upon the requirement, they're going to use accordingly, but hidden fields never been used, because what is the main disadvantage of these hidden fields? We need to transfer the heavy data between the, because, okay, because when the data is transferring from register to register 1, only 2 fields are being transferred. Okay, in this case, first time 2 fields have been transferred from register to register 1. Again, I'm returning 5 fields. 3 are first name, last name, email. Along with that, username and password also I'm sending back to the browser. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, it is going to return, when I click on submit, it is going to return the key along with value pairs. Nothing but input fields are there, right? First name value, last name value. Okay. Email value, and then username value and password value. Like that, it is going to pass all these 5 fields again in the second request object. Okay, so what is the problem, main problem at here? Unnecessarily, you're trying to pass the data between the server and browser. What is the need of, see, in the first page itself, I got the username and password. Then what is the need of why you transfer it again back to the browser and from browser to the server. What is the need? I mean, we are using anyway, we are using some technique called hidden field technique. Okay, by using hidden field technique, again, I need to pass this form back to the browser, right? So the user can able to see these fields along with these two fields are hidden fields so that user cannot able to see. Okay, when you click on the submit, when you click on the submit, it will go to the store.jsp. While going to the store.jsp, it is going to carry all this information: first name, last name, email, username, and then password. Hmm. Still doubt, Vijay?
No.
If you're not clear, otherwise I will create one pictorial diagram. I will show you. Okay.
No, I'm okay.
Okay then. Yep. Great. So what is the main disadvantage of this one? So unnecessarily been data transferred between the browser to server and server to browser because of the hidden field technique. So that is the reason we'll go for the next technique called cookies. Okay, cookies are a kind, like, it is a kind of an object that server is trying to store that particular object in a client, means browser. Okay, that is called the cookies. Who is going to create the cookies? Server is the one which is going to create the cookies, and server is the one which makes, like, that cookie is stored in your browser. So whenever it is required, it will pick up all those cookies and it will read who server. Okay, that is called as a cookies technique. I will see about this on tomorrow. You have any doubts for this program?
No.
No, it's clear.
Okay, okay then. So okay then, thank you guys. I will see you on tomorrow, and we'll see about the cookies concept.
Okay, thank you. And
Thank you.
tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll meet 30 minutes earlier.
Sure.